Warning: the Surgeon General has determined that portions of this video contain verbiage that is known to cause extreme boredom. Adult supervision is recommended. Hold on to your chairs, boys and girls. It's time for another exciting episode of Vlog-O-Matic.
Hi there, YouTubers. It's your old buddy Ken Bank again, coming back at you with an addendum to Volume 3. So this is Volume 3A of Vlog-O-Matics for 2007. You know, when I made that last blog, I mentioned two controversies on YouTube last week, and I talked about one, the Bobs for Kim, but I totally blitzed on the second one. I think it's because the clock was going and I was getting close to 10 minutes and I was getting nervous. I forgot all about the second issue, and so I'm going to talk about that right now. This was Renetto's Are They Traitors or Not video, which caused an extreme controversy in a whole segment of the community. What Renetto was saying, it was basically he felt uneasy that people were going to live video, especially very popular people on YouTube who had built large followings and popularity on YouTube and were going over to live video and setting up shop. He felt that that was wrong. And he didn't really, I don't know if he stated his reasons eloquently enough or not, but what I got from him was that he felt it was a violation of the community of YouTube, that the fame or the popularity of people who had made their names here on YouTube, he felt that they were betraying the community by going to live video and doing the same thing. The other side of the people that were accused were very upset. Geriatric 1927. I don't think I've seen him that angry before. Maybe on one occasion he had something really got under his skin, but he really let Renetto have it in his response video. And after listening to a lot of response videos from the major players involved, I sort of have my own opinion on it. I think both sides are right. I think that the people that say they're not under any obligation to YouTube, they didn't sign a contract, that they're adult people and they can do what they want to. This is the internet. No one can tell them where to go, what to do. I think that's correct. I think they're right. I think they are right. And the people that say that side with Renetto and saying that, you know, the people are betraying the place, them biting the hand that feeds them, basically, is what it amounts to. They have a point too, but it's less tangible than the other side. The I can do what I want to, this is the internet and I'm an adult person argument is a very tangible argument. It's a fact that the majority of people that he named in his, well, all the people that I saw that he named in his initial message are adult individuals. I didn't see any 13-year-olds in there, so they have the privilege in this society and on the internet especially, to go where they will, to do what they want, with whom they want, and how they want, within very, very broad limits. So they're right. And so is Renetto. Renetto's right, but on a less tangible plane. Those of you who follow Renetto know that from time to time he gets on a soapbox about the community of YouTube. And I see his point. There is a synergy here. I felt it almost immediately upon coming in when I first signed up. I felt that there was something more going on here than just a video sharing site. And the reason I feel I'm qualified to say that is because prior to finding out that YouTube even existed, I had been frequenting Vimeo and Metacafe two other video sharing sites, and they have nice videos, but there's nothing of the community here. I mean, the people don't seem to they don't seem to go. They're not there to communicate with one another. They're there just to show videos. Period. That's my opinion anyway. And this is especially the case about MetaCafe. I know that Vimeo is trying to be a little bit more interactive with between users and things like that, but still, I've gone in there a couple times just to see what was going on, and it's just not the same. They don't have the same number of views. They don't have the same number of subscribers. It's just it's there, and people use it, but it's not anything like YouTube. But what it has in its favor is it is not a YouTube copy. It is not a knockoff. It is not a rip-off of YouTube, which LiveVideo is obviously a rip-off of / clone of YouTube. And that is unsettling. First of all, there's no reason for it. They could change the scheme, they could change the way it looks, they could change the place the buttons are. But no, they copied YouTube almost to the T. And that bothered me. It really did. It really bothered me. It reminded me of an analogy, a gardening analogy. You know, when you're a gardener and you have fruit trees, they'll often grow suckers. And suckers are the small shoots that grow up around the root base of a fruit tree. And they have to be trimmed off, or else they'll take the strength of the away from the parent tree, and they never ever become as large or as healthy as the parent tree. So I look at sites like especially in the case of LiveVideo, which is such an obvious ripoff of YouTube. They're like a sucker on the tree. We have a healthy tree called YouTube, and around at its base is growing this sucker called LiveVideo. Now, if it's just not going to happen. eBay is another example. When they first came out, they became very, very popular in their genre. In fact, they are the leader. They attained success, and after that, there were several wannabes, knockoffs of eBay that attempted to take some of the steam away, to extract some of the momentum from eBay. They didn't do as well. And so I feel if that is an indication of how the internet works, then LiveVideo, for all its copycatting and even improved technology, isn't going to amount to the success that YouTube has. And as long as YouTube doesn't make a serious blunder, I mean, come on, YouTube, you got to fix the problems. And I know that you're aware of them. And but if if YouTube doesn't make a serious blunder, there's no way that a sucker can overtake it. And eventually, the gardener will come by and chop it off. That's just the way it works in the world. That's reality. And those of you who are going over to LiveVideo, there's no problem with that. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I went over there and signed up with my name. I guess that's egotistical of me, but I went over there and reserved my name for myself so that there couldn't be another Ken Bank in the world. Heaven forbid there should be a Ken Bank, another Ken Bank. But I don't know if I'm going to actively post there or not. The way I feel about it is that, one of the arguments that interested me and intrigued me was that people saying that, we need to have maximum exposure on the internet, and that by going there, we're increasing our exposure. Well, think about it. Who's going there? It's YouTubers. So you're preaching to the choir when you go over there. The people that go over there are all over here. So if you put your videos here, they're going to see them there, and they would have seen them here anyway. So you're not really increasing your market, in my opinion, at this time. maybe later that'll be the case. But right now, the people over there, they're all over here too. So I feel that's part of the problem in creating such a close copy of another successful site, and then on top of creating such a close copy of it, actively wooing popular celebrities from the successful site over with cash incentives. That's kind of sneaky. I don't think it's wrong. It's not wrong, but to me it strikes, you know, of course I'm biased. I'm not on the receiving end of any of these bonuses, so of course I can talk about it like this. But it just seems like they're not being true to their school. And that's another analogy I thought of for this whole YouTube live video thing. They're like two high schools in the same town. You know, I don't know if that doesn't work, but it does bring up the community tribalism aspect of it. I've long suspected that society in America, as it is in the rest of the world, is slowly the age of democracy has peaked, and unless the democracies of the world can keep a handle on things, we're going to slide down the slippery slope of tribalism, and we will end up where we were before the rise of civilization, aligned with small clans and small, quote, kingdoms, unquote, or baronies or whatever, similar to what they had in feudal Europe prior to Renaissance. And I don't know if that's what we want. But what's the case in a lot of places in the world. Many pundits that I've heard on the radio and TV indicate that this is the root of the strife in the Middle East is clans and tribes that don't see eye to eye or are competing for resources in a resource. I mean resources that matter. We're not talking about oil here particularly, but water and land and so forth, survival resources, as well as oil. They're fighting for that too. And that's why we got involved, to try to sort that out. But yeah, I don't think it's working that well. But that's a whole other subject. So back onto this Renato thing. And here I've been talking for almost 13 minutes about it. Bottom line, it doesn't seem wrong for people to go to live video, but it does seem wrong at the same time. It's kind of a very curious balance. People in tribes don't like now, and there's where you have a little bit of a breakdown here in logic, because some people in YouTube have adopted this tribal attitude. I think Renato's one of them. Others have not, and the people that have not adopted a tribal attitude about YouTube are the ones that are going over to live video with impunity, thinking that they're not in any way betraying, or there's nothing to betray. There's no country to be a traitor of. But I'm saying to you that Renato is right on one level, and that is, if YouTube has established a community, something beyond simply a website where you can share your videos, if we have developed a relationship with one another and thus a community, then his misgivings are not unfounded, because people who go out on their tribe, fraternize with the other tribes without official approval, are usually held suspect. And I think that in Renato's mind, and he has a reasonable point, that the actions of those who have gained so much in YouTube, have become very popular, and thus in a position to use that popularity, to translate that popularity into power, and influence and money owe something to the community that put them there. That's his argument. And I think it's a reasonable one. Certainly, it's arguable that this is the case. Although there is no legal basis for not allowing people to leave, it's an emotional thing that Renetto's talking about. He's being open with his emotions. And I don't think that he intended to cause such acrimony about it. And perhaps some of the responses, the reactions that people had were due to a slightly guilty conscience. It could be. That led them to be a little more adamant in insisting that they were not wrong to go by what they were doing in live video. As the bard doth say, I think, or he would say, methinks they doth protest too much. Have a great day. See you later.
This has been a Hugusamus Films production.